The emperor pushed open the door to the cold palace. Only then did he discover in shock that the empress had given birth to the first princess in a century of royal lineage. Before this, he had fathered 99 imperial sons. In the spirit beast kingdom, the art of taming beasts is passed down from mother to daughter. Thus he had always yearned for a princess. Yet the emperor never imagined that the empress, banished to the cold palace, had secretly born him a princess. The moment the princess was born, many small animals gathered around. The empress immediately realized the infant had inherited the power to tame beasts. Yet, with insufficient milk, watching the child cry incessantly, he grew frantic with worry. Just then, a female goat suddenly approached his bedside. He hastily milked her and fed the princess. 3 months later, ministers pressured him, demanding the emperor swiftly select young, beautiful women to enter the palace and bear princesses. The emperor flew into a rage, determined to strike back at the ministers. He immediately summoned his secret guards to investigate every minister's vulnerabilities. He would make them taste the bitterness of forcing others to bear daughters. The emperor then summoned the Prince of Freedom, ordering him to propose holding a palace banquet at the next morning court session. The following day, the Prince of Freedom followed the emperor's decree to reward the officials. The emperor agreed on the spot. The ministers rejoiced wildly, believing the emperor had finally seen the light and would hold a selection of consorts. They all prepared to send their daughters to the palace. At this moment, one minister again suggested that the emperor should quickly appoint a new empress. The emperor retorted, "Who is fit to be empress?" Upon hearing this, the ministers were instantly speechless. On the day of the palace banquet, a little mouse reported the banquet's details to the princess. It explained that the Mushang festival was traditionally a joint ritual for the emperor and empress, followed by an evening banquet where many beautiful ladies would dance. The emperor would bestow the title of consort upon whichever lady caught his eye. The young princess was displeased upon hearing this. She immediately summoned a little bird and sent it to the imperial kitchen to await instructions. At the banquet, the minister proposed that the daughters of the ministers showcase their talents, which could also serve as a means to select noble ladies for the palace. If they bore a princess, the empress could be crowned sooner. The other ministers eagerly agreed. Unexpectedly, the emperor felt the wine was unusually potent that day. He instantly flew into a rage. The ministers, terrified, immediately knelt to beg for mercy. The emperor declared they truly deserved death, but spared them punishment for now. He then bestowed the dancers and singers from the banquet upon the assembled ministers, granting them 3 years to devise methods for conception. Then, under the eunuch's arrangements, several dancers were immediately assigned to each minister. The ministers all expressed refusal, but the emperor warned them that refusal would mean the execution of their entire families. The ministers, helpless, had no choice but to accept this gift, but they did not know that little bird had slipped mad dragon powder into the emperor's wine, which was why he was so violent today. The princess praised little bird highly. 3 years later, the emperor received a secret report claiming a herd of beasts had recently gathered near Mount Wanshou and might be preparing to descend the mountain. Upon hearing this, the emperor found himself in a dilemma. Only someone skilled in beast taming could completely drive away these ferocious creatures. But unfortunately, no princess had been born into the imperial family for 100 years. Meanwhile, the princess had gradually grown up. In her leisure time, she would have the golden eagle carry her out for flights. Unexpectedly, as the emperor approached the gates of the cold palace, he heard the laughter of a child. He asked his attendants if they had heard the child's laughter, but they replied they had heard nothing, thinking it was an illusion. He turned and left. After playing for a while, the princess felt hungry. She had grown tired of eating thin porridge every day. She immediately ordered the small animals to bring them some delicious food the next day. That night, the empress dreamed that her exiled father was in danger and wept with worry. The princess comforted her mother, saying, "When the time is right, I'll ride the golden eagle to bring grandfather back." Days later, at the mountain's base, a fierce tiger attacked a deputy general. In the critical moment, the general rescued the deputy from the tiger's jaws and engaged in a fierce battle with the beast. Ultimately, he subdued the tiger. This general was none other than the princess's grandfather. In the struggle, he too had been clawed by the tiger. The lieutenant was profoundly grateful for the general's life-saving act. He refused to believe the general was a villain, convinced the general's exile must be the result of a frame-up. The grand tutor soon learned of signs of dampness at Wanshou Mountain, seeing this as the perfect opportunity to eliminate the general. Unexpectedly, their conversation was overheard by a little mouse. The mouse immediately informed the young princess, saying it had overheard the grand tutor's plans to frame the general. At his residence that very day, the general was the princess's maternal grandfather. Hearing this, the princess turned pale with shock. The mouse revealed they were deliberately delaying the forging of weapons, hoping to let her grandfather perish in the dampness. The empress heard the mouse speaking and immediately came out of her chambers. The princess declared she must journey far, but the empress firmly refused, arguing she was too young and the journey too perilous. But the princess insisted on going. Finally, pressed by the empress's questioning, the princess revealed to her mother that a beast tide was about to erupt at Mount Wanshou. She claimed her beast taming skills could protect her grandfather. Meanwhile, the emperor happened to pass by the cold palace. Suddenly, he heard the cry of a golden eagle from within. He halted immediately and entered the cold palace. The empress worried for her father's safety and ultimately permitted the princess to journey to Wanshou Mountain. He entrusted her with his hairpin, instructing her to present it to her grandfather upon arrival, a sign that all would be revealed. The princess gushed over her mother's beauty, promising to find the empress a dashing young man once her mission was complete. Just then, the emperor pushed open the door. The scene before them left them both speechless. The emperor could scarcely believe he had a princess daughter.